You know, when you think of big stars of the golden age of Hollywood, you do think of a select few, don't you? Charlie Chaplin, for instance, Mae West, Cary Grant, Marilyn Monroe, Humphrey Bogart. They're just indelible images, really, on your mind. They only have to flash up on the screen and you instantly know who they are. The same could be said for this particular leading lady, none other than Lauren Bacall, who had a phenomenal career when you think about it, starting out at such a young age, just around about 20, and starring opposite her soon-to-be husband, Humphrey Bogart. You know the line, don't you? Of course, we all do. Even those that are very young seemingly know these particular movies, not quite sure what it is about them. But it's interesting to note, when I look back at some of the interviews, as I say, that I've been lucky enough to do and to meet and things like that, I was very fortunate, very briefly, to meet Lauren Bacall when she was in London for The Prince of Tides, which was a Barbara Streisand movie way back, if you remember. Oh gosh, quite a long time ago now. That's how time flies, isn't it? But of course, Lauren Bacall really virtually stole the part and stole the movie, even opposite such a stellar talent as Barbara Streisand. But it's this particular picture which we hark back to, because this was taken many, many years ago. And can you guess, of course, who sat with her? None other than a former president of the United States. As ever, let me explain. S. Truman had been vice president of the United States for only a few weeks when he showed up on February the 10th, 1945, at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. He had agreed to take part in a show for some 800 servicemen. For his part in the show, Truman sat down at the upright piano to demonstrate his talent at the keyboard. Very quickly, he was joined by the popular 20-year-old actress Lauren Bacall, who was there as part of a Hollywood contingent taking part in the show. She perched herself on top of the piano very glamorously and very Hollywood style. The crowd cheered away, the cameras clicked away, and the photos appeared everywhere. Apparently the photos came to be taken, so the story goes, because of Lauren's press agent, Charlie Enfield, who thought this would be a very good move career-wise, and of course he was the publicity chief at her studios, Warner Brothers. He prompted her to pose with Truman. She later said, well, she was very young, she wasn't quite sure what she was doing, and she was told this was very good for her career. Because Lauren brought this particular famous picture up in an interview with myself, and I said to her, wow, you know, what a thing to do when you're 20. She recalled what a dumb thing to do, because she never really wanted, of course, to align herself politically at that stage anyway, to anyone. And she said for many years, and let's not forget that Harry S. Truman was president for 8 years. She said everybody felt that she was naturally on his side when she knew very little about political maneuvers, and in fact she hadn't really formed any political opinions. It's fascinating though, isn't it, how one picture can really create and tell 1,000 words. And more importantly, when you look at Lauren Bacall, obviously she had her own thoughts as she moved further down to a very successful long career, and was quite outspoken politically in latter stages. But this particular picture, as I say, she said she came to regret it. But as she pointed out, it was a great moment in history, and one, of course, that someone captured forever. And obviously, as she also pointed out, it wasn't necessarily one that people often brought up, but she was very glad in the end that it was simply taken. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.